So if you're just taking the NPB team or the WBC team and you just put them in the big leagues this year, hopefully it's helped a lot of people. It's kind of cool to see the guys that have said. That's a hard question. I think it's high level. I think the players are very good at executing the things that they've optimized to execute. The game's very fast. It's a lot faster than the American game. People try to steal more. People try to take extra bases on the base paths. Faster times running home to first. So it's much more of a speed-oriented game as opposed to the American game that's a lot more power, a little slower and more power-oriented. So I think the players here are very good at executing those things. I think that the focus is just different. It's hard to compare the leagues because the focus is just different. Like, in order to make it in the big leagues, you have to throw hard and hit the ball hard, and it's power focus. Where in order to make it in Japanese league, you have to be fast and you have to be able to execute and hit for a high batting average and stuff like that. So it is interesting to see like a different style of baseball, but still played at an extremely high level. I think talent-wise, they certainly would be able to, or they certainly would have a chance to make playoffs. I think there'd be a struggle for the pitchers handling the workload necessary, pitching every 5th day instead of every 7th. Not that they couldn't do it, but there'd be an adjustment period. So the first year or two that situation happened, you'd probably see the Japanese pitchers get a little more tired towards the end of the season, which they may lose out on a playoff spot because of that. I think the hitters would tire a little bit with more games and a much more difficult travel schedule, flying across country all the time. It's a lot more difficult. So if you're just taking the NPB team or the WBC team and you just put them in the big leagues this year and say, well, they make playoffs, I think they'd struggle to make playoffs because of those logistical factors. But talent-wise, I think they'd be competitive for sure. I just think they'd fall off a little bit towards the end of the season. Yeah, depending on how they adjusted to. There's higher velocity from the opposing starting pitchers in general in Major League Baseball than in Japan, so they'd have to adjust to the velocity difference. And I'm not sure. I mean, Ohtani handles it perfectly fine. Other people struggle with it, so I think that'd be the interesting part of it. And again, in order to make playoffs, you just have to win a division, so it would change if they're in like AL East versus NL Central or something like that, right? So there's a lot of variables to that question. That's great. One of the things that I really wanted to do with my baseball career is make the game better for the next generation. Better training, better information, better processes, better health, stuff like that. And so it's definitely a source of pride for me that people have found value in what I'm talking about, and hopefully it's helped. Hopefully it's helped a lot of people. It's kind of cool to see the guys that have said publicly that they're influenced by me and my content, or that I was their favorite player or something growing up, because I remember a couple years ago, it seems like just a couple years ago, I was the same way with like Tim Lincecum, and he had a huge influence on my career, and so I'm happy that if I can have that type of positive influence on other people's careers too. Yeah, I tried to, try to find ways to entertain the people. So happy that that's been well received. Hopefully, I can continue to entertain and also educate people around the world. That's important to me.